Senator Bernie Sanders, independent from Vermont, said that former Vice President Harris would be president if she had used the same campaign playbook as Zoran Mamdani in his apparent win in the Democratic primary for New York City mayor. Look, he ran a brilliant campaign, and it wasn't just him. What he understood and understands, campaign's not over, is that to run a brilliant campaign, you have to run a grassroots campaign, Sanders told Politico magazine in a piece published Wednesday. So instead of taking money from billionaires and putting stupid ads on television, which the people increasingly do not pay attention to, you mobilize thousands and thousands of people around the progressive agenda that speaks to the needs of working class people, and you go out and you knock on doors, he added. And if somebody like a Kamala Harris had not listened to her consultants and done that, she would be president of the United States today. Mamdani, a Democratic socialist, shocked American political observers Tuesday as he seemed to be on the path for winning the Democratic nomination for the Big Apple's mayor over former New York Governor Andrew Cuomo. He immigrated to the U.S. from Uganda as a child and has spent most of his life in the nation's biggest city. Then they mentioned that he would be the first Muslim and Asian mayor if he were to win the New York mayoral position. So I agree with what was said here, and I've tried to make this very apparent. I think that the Democrats can't get out of their own way because you're going to have people like Sanders and to a lesser extent the squad who will push for, actually running grassroots campaigns, not sitting around with billionaires and whatnot, but you're going to keep having the people like Pelosi, like Jeffries, like Schumer, who push members to side with corporations, to side with, just these different millionaires and billionaires. And look, as someone who tried running, right, for the House last year, I understand where if a person has never done this before, it doesn't have to be the House. It could be something smaller like a seat on the city council. But I get where if they've never done it before, they might be afraid that, hey, if I don't have money, I'm not going to be able to run my ads. I'm not going to be able to, supposedly get my name out there. But I truly believe that if people are actually serious about getting things done for whoever they're representing, which again, I know a lot of these people are just in this for power, they would actually try to run grassroots campaigns. They would get a small team of 5, 10, 20 guys, volunteers, members of their family, whatever, knock on doors, have everyone know what their positions are, and just actually talk to voters. And that's something that doesn't really get mentioned that much. Most, from what I can tell, politicians, the successful ones, right, the ones that are, they could be in the Senate and the House. I'm not going to count the presidential candidates because I'm not going to sit here and pretend it's realistic to speak to 330 million people. It's not. But what I've started realizing is that most politicians don't actually go in front of any group of people that could be considered, what's a good way of putting it, combative or even like directly among the people. Like you don't really see senators or congressmen, right, like going and just, yeah, they might have a town hall once or twice a year, but just, hey, I'm going to do this speech, and then we're going to have, people asking questions, and I'm going to go and talk to some voters in this district. That you don't see that, because a lot of them have relied on the key of getting a bunch of donor money, running stupid ads on TV, and then basically winning because nobody knows who the hell the other people are that you're running against. Or you're not challenged at all. Like just really almost a lazy man's campaign. No actual grassroots support. No, again, knocking on doors. No talking to voters. Just go sit in front of some wealthy donor, get some money from them, run your ad on TV about 5 or 6 times a week, and that's pretty much it. And it's sad that that's the state of American politics, where you can realistically win one of the most powerful positions in all of America, a seat in Congress, literally from just talking to a rich person and promising to do their bidding. Voters be damned. But again, stuff like Citizens United and Sanders talking about the oligarchy, all of it's true. I just wish more people were aware of it, that most politicians don't even have to talk to you. Like Cuomo was, I think, already damaged himself with just his conduct as governor, both allegations and his actual record. But you got to admit it's a fall from grace to go from that to losing, like, first of all, running for a lower position, which to go from governor of a whole state to mayor, even if it's of the biggest city, mind you, but to then lose to someone that people have never heard of before. And it goes down to the stench of his own name and the fact that he had an opponent that was actually working, that was actually going around and telling people, hey, look, this is me, these are my positions, agree with them or disagree with them, you know who I am, you know what Kumo is, he's been in there, he's failed, try somebody else. And I think that resonated with a lot of people, and I hope that we can get more candidates that actually, just try and pretend to at least give a damn about winning.